We talked about this on the phone, and I think it's interesting. Like big picture, the roster construction for this year, what the Niners were hoping to accomplish by basically bringing back the same team as much as possible. So I don't know. We're critiquing John Lynch here. We're critiquing Lynch, Shanahan, Saleh, Parag, and Jed, the whole brain trust. What do you think of their plan for this season and how it's worked out?
Well, hindsight is real easy, right? It's really easy to look back and say it didn't work, and you can give a bunch of reasons like injuries and stuff. The thing is that we saw the best version of this exact roster plan, this exact roster construction in 2019. And look, whatever reasons you want to say, well, Garoppolo was the problem, this guy was the problem, that guy was the problem, this guy didn't do his job here, that guy didn't do his job here. It didn't happen. They didn't get it done. And it's not like you can just recreate this entire season the same exact way. We've seen it in football. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. Bringing back the same roster in that way and trying to do the same exact thing is what makes you lose in football. We've seen it year after year. That's why there's such a difference between the New England Patriot team this year and the New England Patriot team last year. And there's such a difference between the New England Patriot team last year and the New England Patriot team the year before. I mean, just look at it. The early Super Bowl teams were driven by what? Their front seven with Richard Seymour, Vince Wilfork, Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis, all those guys. Yeah, they had great back-end players like Rodney Harrison, they had Lawyer Malloy for a little bit, Ty Law. But they were driven by their front seven. Now, who are they driven by? Their secondary. They have three very good man coverage corners. And they play man across the board, and they have a bunch of different people who can do a bunch of different things. So the NFL is all about adapting and moving on. And look,
and if you're stuck, then you end up like the Eagles.
Right. And what do you need in order to reload your team in a different way? You need draft capital. Well, the Niners used all their draft capital to try and build the same exact team last year. So they traded their picks to get Brandon Ayuk, and they traded DeForest Buckner to get Javon Kinlaw. They lost a couple picks to get Emmanuel Sanders, and then they lost more picks to try and replace Emmanuel Sanders to get Brandon Ayuk.
True.
So they didn't have a lot of flexibility, and they put all their stock into one season where if this season continues to go in this direction, look, you move off of Jimmy Garoppolo, there's not much you can do at quarterback, right? It's not like you can just say, all right, Garoppolo's the problem and go to Nick Mullins or go to CJ Beathard. That's
boom, 12 wins. Boom.
Right.
Super Bowl. No, you're rebuilding now.
Right.
You're like rookie quarterback.
Right. And you have Tart, who's a free agent. Richard Sherman, who's a free agent. Kyle Juszczyk's a free agent. You have so many free agents. You don't have draft picks where you can just let all these guys walk and say, we'll draft, because you need 12, 13 draft picks to do that.
Yeah. You don't know how much cap space you're going to have. You don't know if you're going to be an attractive free agent destination if you're coming off a 4-win, a 6-win, a 7-win season. You don't know.
Right.
Who knows?
You have a big deal, mega deal that you have to do with Fred Warner. So
you're paying a tight end $15 million a year. Right. 4 catches on Sunday.
So you can't be a rebuilding team when you have 2 or 3 of the highest paid players at their position and 2 or 3 players who are elite at their position.
Yeah.
So then
you can't afford it. I mean, Kittle's 27 years old. You can't afford it. Yeah.
Right. So I just feel that there is a real question on how this team moves forward, and it's going to be real inconsistent. It's going to be really interesting on what they can do moving forward, because there are a lot of factors that they're not in control of that are affecting them at this moment.
Yeah. It's really interesting. They really tried to recreate a formula that didn't work. And what's interesting is they convinced themselves that it did work. That the revenge tour means we lost a fluke game. We should have won. We were the best team in the NFL. We proved it over a long period. We blew it for like 7 minutes. Those 7 minutes don't define us. It was a small sample. It was a fluke. We're still the best. And I think that's pretty much set the stage for everything we're seeing. That is not the mindset of a champion. That's not the mindset that propels you to the next Super Bowl. Right. Those are just the excuses a loser makes. And I'm sorry. I'm not saying they're losers, but they lost the Super Bowl and they handled it poorly, in my opinion.
Right. And the thing is, look, they had, what were their big roster question marks last year? Okay. The quarterback debate, was it a problem? Was it not a problem? Let's throw that aside.
Interior offensive line.
What do you think that every other team was studying this year? The
Their
49ers weaknesses. How we can beat the 49ers. They walked out the same exact weaknesses with more injuries this year.
Yep. That's denial. That's terrible. And it's like the mandate is to always make your team better. You're getting better, you're getting worse, and the Niners tried to stay the same. And their whole mantra is you never stay the same.
Right. Kyle always quotes the John Gruden saying of you either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same.
Yeah, well, they tried to stay the same and got worse.
Right. And it doesn't help that you have injuries everywhere.
All right.
Everywhere.